Hey, it's Chris. Electric longboards aren't known for being super affordable, but Juiced is making a board that starts at just $449. Now the question is it any good? And before I get any further, you should know that the board that I've been testing out is actually an early prototype. So is it any good? And the answer, I think, comes down to three different things. What can it do, what can't it do, and what's the quality like? Alright, so what can the Juiced board do for $850 less than the cheapest boosted board, aside from having orange wheels? Well, obviously cost is a major factor here, if not the main differentiator, but there are some cool other features as well. For starters, it's got regenerative braking, which means that you'll be able to ride a little bit longer. It also features fast charging, which will let you juice up in 45 minutes, which is a great feature. And then there's a motor that's reasonably quiet and water resistant, which is cool. One thing that I really like is that you're basically only gonna see that battery pack down underneath, and that's because Juiced has hidden the motors inside the wheels. Now maybe the best feature, or at least the most unique one, is that this board is fully capable of acting like a regular old longboard, a non-powered board, when it runs out of battery. And that's something that you can't say about most other boards because there's just so much resistance in those wheels. Another great feature is having some different speed modes, which is great for beginners. Now there are 4 different speed and braking modes, which means you can go from turtle to rabbit and a couple points in between, so whatever your experience level is, it should adapt to fit your needs. Now honestly, this isn't the fastest board that I've ever been on, but I also wouldn't call it slow either. The thing is, for the price, it packs an acceptable amount of punch. Now, at some point you're gonna be asking yourself, why doesn't this thing cost over $1,000? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's missing some of the bells and whistles that you might find on other boards. There's no app, for instance, which means you won't be able to track your rides or estimate how much range is left. And there also aren't any lights or other extras, which means this thing's just been stripped down to the bare essentials. But what's cool though is that there is an extra USB port, so if you want to add those accessories on later, at least it's an option. Now personally, I think that these trade-offs are pretty workable, especially if you're looking for a reasonably priced electric longboard. Now features aside, you're probably wondering, what does this thing actually ride like? Well, it handles well, it carves great, and the brakes work good too. I really like the ergonomic feel of this controller. It's definitely better than some that I've tested. Still, it does feel kind of cheap like so many of these do, but I do like the progressive acceleration and braking instead of just stop and go. Now one more note, this is an e-board, and that means it's kind of heavy. So that's something to keep in mind if this is something that you're gonna be commuting with or something like that. All right, so you can check out Juiced on Indiegogo right now. I'll leave that link down in the description, and let me know down in the comments. Is this something you're excited about? Something that you're kind of worried about in terms of quality? Do you really love that price? Would you just save up and do something else like a boosted board? Let me know, let's talk about it. And make sure to check out all the archives if you haven't been here before, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video. Later.